Hi everyone, I'm here with a long-term review of the Honda HRR216 walk-behind lawnmower. It's been a great mower. I've had it for about 2.5 years now, and I've learned a few things along the way that I thought I would put up for everyone else to know as well. I bought it for about 400 bucks 2.5 years ago. Like I said, it's been really great. Just like you would expect, just like everyone says, these Honda mowers really do start up right away on the first pull 99% of the time. Every now and then, really can't even remember when the last time it happened, it'll take 2 pulls. Never more than that. I have literally never had this mower start up on more than 2 pulls. I am rough on this thing. My property is uneven. It's on a slope. It's got tons of obstacles, roots, rocks, uneven parts, uphill, downhill. I am rough on this thing, and it has stood up to all of my abuse over 2.5 years. I'm not nice to it. I stick it right into a bush, and I don't really care. I just go right under it to minimize how much I need to trim later, and that's been the one thing I have messed up. I tore the cord here on the starting system just from sticking into too many bushes. It got nicked and torn, and I just tied it up, and it's been working fine ever since. Obviously a little annoying to unroll it and roll it back. I bought a new one, but haven't had the time or the desire to put it on yet, just because this still works fine, and I'm kind of getting a kick out of how much abuse it can take and still working just fine. This is the model that does not have the blade stop. The blade and the engine stop together using this blade control / throttle bar. It works great. I don't really care about the blade stop feature because I don't stop and start a lot, and because anytime I do, it starts right back up on the first pull. Never had an issue with it. If it was hard to start, I could definitely see the appeal of a blade stop, just so you don't have to do that every time. But it's been so easy that even when I do stop, like I said, it's really not a problem. The way the drive system works, you can adjust the position of this driver. This doesn't adjust the speed. It adjusts the position to the most comfortable spot, and you just apply pressure to it to drive. What's nice about that, and maybe a pro or a con depending on how you're looking at it, it's variable. So you can give it just a little bit or a lot. If you want to kind of vary your speed as you're mowing, that's nice. If you want to lock in your speed and just press go, maybe not as nice. But I find it works great. It doesn't take very much force. It's very comfortable. You can put it in the spot that you like, and even with one hand, it just goes. You never really even notice it's there. I never used the bag. I used it once, I think, just for fun, but I don't even know where it is anymore because it mulches so well. I always mulch. You can mulch, discharge, or bag. Discharge on this just means that you put it in the bag position without the bag there, and the discharge will just come out the back where the bag is supposed to be. It's got a twin blade system, and it mulches so well that that's all I do. Even mulches well on a very tall grass. Every now and then, if the grass is extremely tall, if I've neglected it, if it's really wet, I might have to go really slowly over an area, or rarely, every now and then and again, go over it twice. But most of the time, I'd say 98% of the time, it mulches perfectly on the first pass, going quickly. No complaints there. I've been very happy with that, and that's all that I do. I mow every week in the spring, every 2 weeks in the summer, and I let the grass get a little taller than some people do and still have no issues. It's also great how easy it is to kind of deal with this engine, work on this engine. The oil change and oil adding is extremely easy. All you do, there's the oil fill cap. All you have to do to change the oil on these machines is turn off the fuel supply to the carburetor to make sure that you're not flooding the carburetor when you tip it over. You then remove the oil dipstick, which is extremely easy, and just like on a car, it has hash marks to show you kind of minimum full and maximum full levels. You just remove this and you tip the whole mower on its side to dump out the old oil into a drain pan, and then just refill it anew. It takes 2 minutes, extremely easy, and makes it really easy to do that once a year or twice a year, or however much you feel you need to do it based on how much you use it. If we go ahead and tip it up, I'll show you that it has the double blade system, this twin cut micro or micro twin cut, whatever they call it, where it is 2 blades. These 2 blades are what makes it mulch so well. This is a brand new blade that I put on there, bought at Home Depot. I was going to sharpen the old blade, but the new one only cost 25 bucks, and I was interested to see how easy it was to replace. So I just went ahead and did that. It was extremely easy. It's just two 14mm bolts. It took all of 5 minutes to replace, and the new blade with a nice new edge on it, well, 2 new edges on each side, has been working fine ever since. The air filter is also extremely easy to change, which is nice because it encourages you to do the right thing and change it periodically. You literally just pop this off, pop out the old air filter and pop in the new one. It costs between $5 and $10 depending on where you buy it. Extremely easy to change, and definitely helps keep these engines running longer and even more reliable than they would otherwise, so worth doing. The only complaint, well, first I'll show you the old blade. This is the old blade after using this thing for 2.5 years and really being rough on it, going over rocks multiple times. It's still in pretty good shape. It could use a sharpening, like I said, but I mean, for 2.5 years of being really rough on it, I'm pretty impressed. I might sharpen it and just keep it as a backup, but otherwise, buying this one at Home Depot was $25 and took, like I said, all of 5 minutes to install. The only downside to this mower, I'd say, are, because I'm so rough on it and because of the nature of my property, the wheels. The wheels are kind of a hard plastic. They work absolutely fine on all normal conditions. They work absolutely fine on flat areas. But when you are going uphill with wet, tall grass, you might notice a little bit of slippage, which is fine because you just then have to give it a little bit of a push yourself to get past that area. But it's one thing to consider. The wheels are the only semi-weak point on this mower. And I have changed the wheels once. I am, like I said, really rough on this thing. I go over lots of roots and uneven areas. I jump up and down curbs. Like I said, I don't really care. I kind of get a kick out of being rough on this Honda and seeing how well it'll do. But I have changed the wheels in the back once earlier this year because they did start to wobble a little bit. Here, there's barely a wobble. I think that's just how it was new. And the wheels were extremely easy to change. It's just a 12mm bolt right here. Pop it off. The new wheels cost about $18, I believe. But that's just one thing to consider. If you're going to be really rough on it like I am, you may want to upgrade to the HRX line, simply because of the wheels. If you have a relatively flat backyard, even if it's big, these wheels are perfect. They are fine. I've never had an issue with them in any sort of normal area. The only times I've had issues with them is when I'm putting this mower pretty obviously in situations it wasn't designed for. So take that how you will. It's a great mower. I'd recommend it for anybody, especially because the larger mowers aren't any bigger as far as deck size. You're not going to get a quicker cutting time or anything, but one semi-weak point, like I said, for this line is probably the wheels, only because the wheels on the bigger line are probably a little better. But like I said, this mower has been absolutely great. Very easy to deal with. Starts every time on that first pull. Very easy to change the oil, very easy to change the blades, very easy to adjust the wheels. The only thing I do to be nice to it is the last fuel tank of the season, I'll put in True Fuel, the stuff that you can buy in a can at a hardware store that's ethanol free. I'll put that in there for the last tank of the season, just to kind of make sure there's no ethanol sitting there over the winter. It's been 2.5 years and I've had no issue with it. I don't know if it's because of that, or more likely it probably would have been fine for 2 years without that. But that's the only way in which I am nice to this thing, and it has really held up beautifully. So I definitely recommend it to anyone looking for a mower. Honda mowers really do deliver. I can tell you, after 2.5 years, on reliability and just kind of hassle-free operation, just like you would expect. Thanks for watching.